funds. What the commissioners had done is they made a motion to take the major moves funds, what is left, and put it all towards the highway garage. So we want to have this meeting today to see what you guys think about that idea. That's for Kathy. How much is left there, Kathy?
Current fund balance is $14,115,373. You already have some funds committed for this year, so expected balance at the end of 2026. We have some weird payments coming in. We have some expenses already planned. Would be $11,476,291.
You mean 11 million? So,
Well, we've been looking at this a long time. We're ready to move ahead on building a highway garage. So I guess with the major moves money being for infrastructure, being from the roads, this is definitely a project in my mind that fits well in the scope of what this funding was for. When we go to build this garage, depending on how much it is, if we are to bond this and reach out and put the burden on every taxpayer in this county by doing it through taxes, that's an option that we do have. If we are to capture and use this major move funds, this is money that we've already got. It's already here. We're not putting an extra burden on the taxpayers of the county. So I guess that's my thoughts on why this, I feel, would be a good idea.
and if you remember correctly, this money was all from the sale of the toll road back in, was it 20, 30, 25 years ago, something like that? So it actually isn't taxpayers' money. It was from the sale of the toll road up there. We got a lump sum, as long as every county along the toll road got a lump sum of the money at that time. And we used it for various projects throughout the county. So I really think this is a good idea. It's going to keep the tax burden off the individuals. The commissioners are looking at some other areas to bring in a little more money, so we have a little more money towards this garage. It's kind of hard to say how much it's going to cost yet because we haven't really got any kind of a estimate or anything like that yet. So the commissioners got to figure out, after we decide to do with this money, to figure out how we're going to go about building it.
I think we've helped a lot of projects, and I think this is a good way to not put a burden on the individual taxpayers of the county, because we have spent a good portion of it on some other projects and helped out where we could. And now I think we need to do what we need to for the county, like I said, to not tax the individuals.
So what happens when it just transfers to that line item in the budget? Who has the power or ability to spend it?
I think Kurt can answer that for you.
Yeah, I can help. You have a joint ordinance right now that essentially says, and I think everybody pretty much knows this, that the auditor administers the fund, and that an appropriation, which is what you council do, can only be made once there's an ordinance, a joint ordinance, passed by a total of 8 members, at least 2 of which must be commissioners. So it's sort of a multi-step process. The first step, if you decide you want to do this, or if you want to vote on it, would be for this group to essentially vote. And if there's 8 in favor of whatever the motion is, at least 2 of which are commissioners, then it allows the council to appropriate funds for that purpose that's been approved. And then once the money is appropriated, the commissioners would have control over the process. So council would lose control over the process once the money is appropriated for this project.
Is there a way to put a fence around the money, if you will, without transferring it into a line item?
Well, I mean, right now the fence is this resolution, this ordinance. And so once you've approved the project, approved according to this expenditure for the purpose of a highway garage, then the last remaining fence for the commissioners, the hurdle, is for you to appropriate. So until you appropriate, through the formal appropriation process.
But that was before us earlier that we did not approve that. That was the appropriation, is that correct?
No, it was just a transfer.
See, I didn't know that.
No,
No,
it's not
that was the
transfer.
appropriation.
Oh, it was.
You can't transfer it from the major moves fund into like county general. It's going to stay in major moves. You'll pay for things from major moves.
It's a major move construction fund. You had two funds at one point, and you eliminated the one fund, and you now only have the construction fund. So the construction fund is where you, all of you, and specifically the council, have control of the monies. Once you've appropriated it there, and this board, this group has approved it, as I outlined earlier, then it's the commissioner's job to determine how to construct the project and all the details that go along with putting in the contracts, if you will, because they're the legislature. So fiscal control is here with you currently, jointly, and then once that, if that is approved, it rests with you as council. And once you've appropriated the monies in that construction fund for this project, legally, you lose control.
So, and I don't have a problem spending the money on the highway garage. I think that's a good place to do it. My biggest issue is giving the blank check, and not that I don't trust the commissioners, but it's just part of the process that we should have a little bit of control over that. We're just giving them the $11 million without us even knowing what the cost of the building's going to be.
Are they asked? I'm asking. The question today isn't appropriation, is it, or do you have an additional advertising?
They had an additional advertisement at their meeting this morning.
I did not know.
They denied that because they wanted this first, which
Okay.
makes
So
sense.
your decision today, if you were to approve it, Mike, would not give them the authority yet to spend the money because they don't have an appropriation.
Right.
So could they, if the joint body decides to do the project, the commissioners could move forward,
Yep.
get firm pricing, then
Yep.
come back for the additional, so you have a set number that you're going.
Well, yes, I mean, so ultimately, there's, as you know, 4 methods of delivery for this type of project. They're gonna have to work through those 4 methods and determine which one they want first. And then depending on which one they select, there will be either RFP process or public bidding processes. But they're going to need money at some point appropriated before they can
Yeah.
get numbers. Because whether they go through the process of using either the BOT, the CMC, or whether they go through the process of having a design build like they did with the Justice Center building, or they do a traditional design bid build project, that's going to take money to do those projects, especially 2 of them up front. The way you do those 2 different projects, some of the design and engineering fees are baked into the price. Others are upfront and more in the beginning. And there are positives and negatives for all of those. In the end, the net result is the price generally ends up being the same. And that is, so to answer the question in a long-winded way, they're not going to be able to have a set number if they decide to go a certain way, depending on which way they go, to come back to the council for. But yes, they can approve the allocation of the monies through the 8-2 process vote and hold on to the appropriation until the commissioners have further developed this. If that answers the question.
Mike, we're gonna have to spend some money to get it designed and get it out there. There's just no way around that.
Right, and there will be funding coming from elsewhere that could possibly do
Yeah.
that. So the appropriation being instant is not that important. Am I right, Terry?
Yeah, we just want to get this money earmarked for that, so nobody else comes back here and asks for more money.
Right.
That's the thing. We got people in the community, they're going to ask for more money. If we don't set it aside, then we're going to have to go through this every time somebody puts an application in, so.
And I agree with that, but I just,
Yeah, the commissioner's been looking at some different funds and trying to move some money around, so we have some additional monies for this project, but it's, we got to decide first how we're going to do it. And then we're going to probably talk about that at staff this week to see which route we're going to go, because we don't even know which route we're going to go yet. So we got some options. We have to discuss it.
I don't know if you have monies appropriated or not for design, but at a minimum, like I said, depending on which way you go, the commissioners are gonna need some money appropriated for design, but they don't have to have all of the money appropriated for the entire project.
Yeah.
To get to that decision making.
What's the balance in CUME fund? Is that something that could be used?
So Cume Cap Development, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Current balance, $3,031,821. You got a planned appropriations for this year. Expected balance at the end of 26 is $2,038,068.
So they could use that as. a
There's a
possibility.
little money in there we was thinking about using, so.
Appropriated.
Not appropriated.
Yeah, we'd have to appropriate it. I mean, you guys will have to do that, but we just, like I said, this meeting was more or less just to get that money from major moves set aside. And kind of give you an idea, when you've seen the plans here, those are probably gonna change a little bit, based on which way we go, so, but,
And if you did approve what the commissioners are requesting today and not appropriate, then of course, the project will never get beyond whatever they already have appropriated to design and spend. So at some point, it has to come back to the council.
and hopefully by then we'll maybe have a better number of what it's gonna cost.
So yeah, your fence is the appropriation.
Okay.
And we can appropriate from a different fund to get it off the ground and far enough to get a fairly steady number of what it will cost us in the end without appropriating all of the major moves money right away.
I'd agree with that.
One of my biggest concerns is building it the same method that we did for Justice Building.
I have that same concern, Mike, believe me.
do.
We've talked about that, and that is one I'm not looking at. You know, that's just me. I don't know what the other two guys are thinking, but, well, that's what we're gonna discuss Wednesday, which way we're gonna go. Because I know what the last project, we had a lot of issues with, the way it was handled.
And for those of you here, you're gonna hear my recommendation is gonna be traditional 36-112 design bid build. I think it has the ultimate safety nets that you're all looking for from a conservative perspective. There'll be arguments to the contrary, and I'm prepared to refute those.
We gotta argue with him on Wednesday.
I think we all agree that this project needs to go forward. And where the county highway is operating out of now, it is very small down there. They've outgrown it. Two trucks can't pass each other on that street now. So in the location, we already have the property. So from what I've heard, this project's gonna cost at least $11 million or more. So either we do it now or we do it later. It's gonna happen, in my opinion, from this guy anyway. I don't know I can't speak for every one of you, but so if we appropriate it now or go ahead with the appropriation, it's no different than we do it 2 months from now. I know what you're saying, Mike. Terry's up here. Just kidding.
No, Mike, you guys are gonna be involved every step of the way. I mean, we gotta work together on this, so.
But the appropriation delaying that is not gonna delay the project.
No, it shouldn't, no.
So either way,
Is it appropriate to say, to put a pause on any major moves applications until this is clear?
Well, Kurt, maybe you can clear it for me, but if we pass this today, we're good.
Right.
The appropriation still is not passed, so that hold is still there. This just sets the money aside for the highway garage.
correct.
So
It's letting the people know that they can't come and ask for more money out of major moves, because it's not gonna be there. That's what we're here to do today.
And a group of the same group, 8 with the 2 commissioners in favor, could change that if for some reason or other, in the meantime, you miraculously have some other idea or funding or source that's become available that you decide, well, we don't need this. So it doesn't permanently keep the money from being available, but it does for now, until another vote is taken, keep the money from being available to other sources. So it essentially put everything on hold, yeah, except for this project.
Just so I'm clear, does the appropriation have to be the total amount? Can it be in maybe a third, and a third as the project goes along? If that's more
Yeah.
to your satisfaction, so we don't lose control, as you say? Could that,
If you make the decision today to, let's use the word allocate all of this major moves to this project, then you wouldn't, that's the only thing you could appropriate would be money for this project, but you don't have to appropriate all of it, if that helps to answer the question.
yes, because it sounded like Mike was thinking if the whole appropriation was made, then council doesn't have, I don't want to say control, but it goes to commissioners. So it wouldn't have to be the entire amount at one time for the additional appropriation.
Correct.
It's just more advertising. More.
But if, let's just say, as time goes on, you decide as a council, you don't want to appropriate all of it, well, then we'll have to come back to this type of
Right.
setting to decide what to authorize, because only authorized is this project, if that's the decision. But yes, you can always appropriate less
Okay.
than you
I
authorize.
just wanted to make sure I was clear. Thank you.
Jeff, how old's that building down there?
We built that in 75 or 76, that was built. We moved into it in, I think, 77.
So it's quite, I know it's quite old. We've been dumping some money into it because it's been having a lot of issues down there, so,
Try around those dates.
yeah. What? Any more thoughts or anything on this, or?
Well, I think it's a good idea. We got to do it. I think this money is a good way to go.
And the other option, you can go out and get a bond, but then that's gonna put the burden on the taxpayers, and they don't wanna do that.
Do you have any ballpark number of what it,
You know, originally it was up high, and then I talked to a gentleman the other day. He thinks somewhere around 15 million would be a good number. So I don't know, the problem is until we get this out for actual somebody to design it, to give us a better idea. I don't know, because I looked at this building here, the big main one, looked at turning it so it's facing east and west, and maybe adding the other small building on the back of that one. You know, making that building a little bit bigger and put the mechanics and the wash bay back there in the back of it. So that's another option, but until we sit down with some kind of designers to actually go through everything.
But we've also heard numbers of 25 million.
Originally, yes,
So
you know, but they were just guesstimating, so.
I guess
And if it get, you know, if it's, we gotta try and keep it within that amount that we got money for.
right. But it's not gonna come in at half that. I mean, it's.
I doubt
so-
that. You figure, since COVID, everything's went up a lot. Everybody I talk to, you can add 25% since COVID, plus about 6 to 7% a year for building stuff. One good thing is the guy said, I talked to the other day, was, the building was, a big steel building, so it's cheaper than going some other ways, so. But we're looking at a plan here that's should go out to 50 years. We shouldn't have to worry about this again for the next 50 years. So if we do it right.
I think it makes sense with like everybody said. I mean, what the money was set aside for this fits perfectly.
I know in the past when we built projects like this sheriff's office down there, when we built that, they went in and they cut things out, changed things, and then later on we ended up adding more things, and it cost us more in the long run. So, you know, instead of doing it right in the first place, I just like to see this project get started and get done right, so we don't have to worry about it again.
So this would be the entire major moves fund set aside. So money there, future money coming in, interest, things like that, everything. Is that true? however we do this.
I think that's the proposal. And I know you don't want to get too far into this, but one of the things that's on the back of my mind is that would include not only what's there minus the expenses that you currently have planned and whatever additional interest revenue you're receiving now, but it could also include, and I know there'll be a lot of people that won't like to hear this, but the way your revolving loan fund reads, it reads that if you were to terminate that, you have authority as council and commissioners to do that. It's not an 8-2 vote, it's a majority of each. That money also reverts back to the major moves fund. So just keep that in mind. That would be something to consider as you debate whether or not to continue to move forward with this discussion.
The revolving loan fund hasn't been used in a number of years.
And then the bank has to turn them down twice before they can come to us and that. So I think right now Laguana's one's using it and they're paying back. And I think they'll be paid back this year, won't they?
Spring of next year. they'll be done.
Spring of next year.
And isn't the court or the justice building payment go into that, back into that?
That's,
No,
No,
edit
that's
Oh,
it.
okay.
justice is coming into major moves.
from edit.
From edit.
The MEC was the other big one that they loaned to several years ago.
200 North was also being paid back. This will be the final year for the payback on the 200 North project to
Okay.
major moves.
And the edit to major moves for the justice was 15 years.
I believe so,
So we've got 10 years to go. in theory,
unless you do away with that
Accelerate.
repayment or accelerate.
Which is an option as you move forward too. You don't know what the funds look like, but you have the option to accelerate that payment. You obviously have the option to just release it as well. That was a joint resolution between council and commissioners. And I can go over those terms with you if you need me to.
So before us today is a resolution to do what?
There's nothing prepared. You would direct Kurt to prepare a resolution, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that the major moves funding will be used for this project. You're not setting dollar amounts or anything else. You're just voting to approve the project.
I'd make a motion to do so.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to set aside the major moves fund for the highway garage, future highway garage. Kathy will do a roll call vote.
Sorry, not prepared. Mike Strasser,
Yes.
Ryan Riecksecker,
Yes.
Peter Cook,
Yes.
Terry Martin,
Yes.
Jim Young,
Yes.
Kevin Myers,
Yes.
Jeff Campos,
Yes.
Jeff Brill,
Yes.
Karen Eagleson.
Yes.
Did I miss anybody?
Got it all.
The motion passes. So Kurt, you have to get something
Absolutely. How
up.
about a motion to authorize that to be signed outside of a meeting by all that are here today?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to have the resolution signed outside the meeting by everybody present here today. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Anything else?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Motion carries. Thanks, guys.